after news channel after news channel. Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
Well, it's Monday. How you guys doing? I'm doing well. My name is Steve. This show is called Wake Up America. Today is Monday. What is it? The 7th. It's 8:04 p.m. on the East Coast. And, yeah, we've got a show for you today. We'll see. I'm tired. I'm always tired, right? But about 100 of you got shipping notices today. And Shirley, both of your packages were picked up by UPS. But yeah, a bunch of you guys will get shipping notifications. If you're one of the ones that ordered the new hat with the sticker packs, I think there was 10 or so of you. Your packages are sitting up front waiting to be picked up tomorrow. I'll probably bring them to the store. And don't worry, they're coming in a huge box for some reason because I misordered. So the hat boxes that I ordered, the hats don't fit in them. So I wasn't going to make you wait. Sending really big boxes. That way, less than a pound. Wasteful spending. But whatever. We got to get them out. This show is still sponsored by Spartan Armor Systems. Spartan Armor Systems has been one of our biggest sponsors for the past year. 18 months, actually. They are an armor manufacturer out of Tucson, Arizona. Great company, great products. They have really nice hats. You can see one sitting back there. Really nice hats. They've got all sorts of stuff. So check them out. Body Armor Level 4 Ceramic is their new one, I believe. Level 4 Ceramic, I believe. I believe that's their new one. Level 3 Concealed. They also have this really cool shirt that's all like a concealed shirt. So it's like a T-shirt that's form-fitting that actually has body armor built in, which is pretty cool. And it's not that expensive either. They got backpacks with body armor in it because you never know. It's not really safe to be at schools anymore. Hats, pouches, everything. So check them out, SpartanArmorSystems.com, and use code YEET. That's YEET, and you get 10% off your order. It's quite an interesting deal, if you ask me. Anyways, let's go right into it. I want to make an announcement first. Now, everything that I make tonight, we have a yeeter that's experiencing. I got to be careful because they didn't want it to be known. All right. So we have a yeeter, a member of the yeeter family, that's going through some shit. All right. So what I'm going to do tonight is everything that we make, I'm going to donate to that person. I'm trying to be very respectful because they didn't want me broadcasting anything. If you've noticed, I've used they for pronouns because I want to keep it as down low as possible. But we have someone that has been with us for a long time. It could be a viewer, could be and I don't do this ever, for our viewers or for anybody else. I just don't do it. But yeah, you know what I mean. So anything I make tonight, YouTube super chats, I prefer if you just go to citizenstringer.com/support, make the contribution that way because I can actually send it to them. See, right away. I don't have to wait for it to settle or something like I do on YouTube and Facebook. You can also go to f-antifa.live and see all the other ways. We have Venmos, PayPals, all that stuff. But I would like to help them out. See, pronouns again. See, you guys won't even have an idea, but some people are going through some crap, and I wish I could do more. So this is my way of trying to help them out. So yeah, anything that you guys contribute today will go directly to that, because it's sad. It's a lot of shit. I can't even imagine if I was ever put in that situation. So. And I'll try to keep track. I see that we have the $25 YouTube super chat, and I think a Cash App just came. Anyway, but and I'll try to give like a total at the end so we can show how much we raised. This is different. This is different than I've ever done. Normally we do charities. This is not charity. This is someone that's going through some hard times, and I would like to just make it a little bit easier for him if we can. Anyway, so we're going to talk about some of these news stories. We got some crazy news stories today. Crazy news stories. And I don't even know which one to start with. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the Joe Rogan thing for a little bit, but let's talk about some of the breaking news stories that we've had this afternoon. An Atlanta police officer seriously injured after being shot multiple times. The suspect is in custody. The Warren Police continues this time. The Atlanta Police Department officer who was seriously injured and recovering at Grady Memorial Hospital after being shot multiple times in southwest Atlanta, a department spokesperson said. According to a statement from Major Brian Schiffbauer, what happened today is the challenge that we are up against here in Atlanta and cities across the country where individuals are heavily armed, heavy proliferation of guns, and they're loose in our communities and causing harm to our police officers who are being assaulted at record numbers across the country and placing communities at imminent harm. The shooting occurred today at 1:15 p.m. on Old Harperville Road when police were attempting to arrest a known gang member and suspect in an October 2021 armed robbery. The individual was armed and the individual was looking to cause harm at the appropriate time. It happened to be an Atlanta police officer that was able to intervene before he was able to rob anybody else, and he was able to assault anyone else, said Major Brian Schiffbauer. The suspect allegedly fought the officers attempting to arrest him, retrieved a gun he held, and shot the officer multiple times. The officer immediately rendered life-saving aid to another officer immediately rendered life-saving aid to the injured officer. Police said the suspect was apprehended after trying to find shelter nearby. Police say there are no further injuries. The unnamed officer is currently in stable condition, but says the Schiffbauer says he was seriously injured and faces a very long recovery. That's one of two police officers, I believe, that were shot today. In Gary, Indiana, a police officer was rushed to the hospital after being shot while responding to a report of shots fired. Authorities said that law enforcement has launched an extensive manhunt for the suspect responsible. Gary police confirmed the officer, a 32-year veteran of the police force, was shot shortly before 1 p.m. while responding to a call of active shots fired in the area of 5th Avenue and Lincoln Street. Sources said the officer was shot during a gun battle in which the suspect or suspects fired multiple shots at police officers. The Lake County Sheriff's officials were helping to search for the shooter in the area of 5th Avenue and Lincoln Street. The Sheriff's Aviation Unit and the Special Operations and Patrol Units are also assisting in the search. The wounded officer was taken to the hospital for treatment, but the officer's condition is not immediately available as of the time of this writing, which was, when was this? This afternoon. So we're going to have to get an update, and we'll try to do a better job, too, at updating our stories, even if it's just a one-paragraph update, because I know our articles get shared quite a bit, and so sometimes a day or two later you want to find out what happened, and we just don't have it. Also, there was an active shooter reported at a Washington Fred Meyer that left one person dead and one person in critical condition. Now, that person also got away, and there's an active manhunt for that scumbag too. Richland, Washington, this is where it took place at a Fred Meyer's grocery store. Richland police were called Monday morning to the Fred Meyer store for a possible active shooter. Initial scanner traffic indicated that at least one person was wounded inside the store by a man with a handgun. Police confirmed that one person was killed and an additional victim has been transported to the hospital. Condition is unknown. We got to update this story too, because I did watch a press conference about this shooting suspect, and apparently he walked in, and we have an image of him because the police put the image out because they don't have him in custody. Apparently he walked up, he had some words with someone inside. It's unknown whether he knew them, or they got into some sort of confrontation, but the man ended up pulling out a gun and shooting someone, and then shooting and killing someone, and then shooting someone else that was there. And it looks like the police, when they were given the press conference, they didn't know whether they didn't know what was said and what was and whether they knew each other. But yeah, it was pretty bad shooting. like I said, one person dead, one person's in critical condition. As of that press conference, which was about an hour ago, that person was undergoing surgery. Active manhunt for this guy. They don't know where. He fled in a white pickup truck, a white Dodge Ram it looks like a truck bed in the video. And we have some more. We have all those pictures and surveillance pictures posted on our website, citizenstringer.com, for anyone that wants to find out what the hell is going on in our country. Because not a lot of it makes sense. I mean, police officers are clearly under attack in the United States. And then elsewhere in the world, police officers are attacking people for bringing fuel. I know you're probably kind of curious. There's a trucker protest. If you've been living under a rock, you probably didn't know there's a massive trucker protest taking place in Ontario right now. It's actually been going on for quite a while. They've been trying to fight with how to get rid of these protesters. They haven't been able to figure out a way because, well, the protesters are actually being compliant with the law. They're on a truck route, so they can't tow the vehicles. There's a lot of things that are just, I mean, this was a really well-orchestrated protest, and it's currently going on. There's a bunch of live feeds. We covered it this weekend. Police redacted the photo of the truck, someone else said. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the truck. Anyway, but one of the things that I find incredibly frustrating with this trucker protest up in Oregon, or up in, I was reading the chat, up in Ontario or Ottawa, is the fact that these truckers who are simply protesting because they disagree with vaccine mandates. They're not anti-vax by any means. What they are is they just don't believe that other people should be forced to get vaccinations, whether it's them or somebody else. Now, a lot of the places, a lot of the different areas, they've actually, a lot of the different provinces and stuff in Canada have actually rescinded, just like a lot of states in today. A lot of states today made plans either immediately or within the next months. They're going to, Anthony said, ask Stephen if he has talked to this unfortunate people on the phone. Yeah, I have. That's why I'm doing this, bud. Don't question what I do, okay? I vetted everything. All right? So don't do that. That's wrong. Of course I have. I wouldn't be trying to raise money if I didn't vet them. You know what I'm saying? I've lost my gray hats. You're going to see me fidgeting with this a lot. You know when you first get a hat and it doesn't fit properly? I just grabbed this one from the front because I didn't have a black one. And it's still kind of tight on my head. So I'm going to be messing with it a lot during the show. I apologize. I should have just not wore it. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, everything that I make today, I'm donating to a yeeter that needs our support. That's all I can say about the situation, but it's someone that I know, someone that I trust, someone that's been around with us for a long, long time, and they need help. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so the trucker protest that's taken up. Now, I covered this on Saturday night. I covered it for a large part on Saturday and then went live again Saturday night, and we covered it. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy because everything that's and I knew this because I work in media. So everything that the media has been saying has been a complete and utter fabrication of the truth. And, you know, from anything from hate crimes being committed to violent assaults and all that stuff, none of that is actually factual. Well, I take that back. Yes, it is factual, but it's not the protesters doing it. There was, I believe it was Friday night, a man drove his car into 4 protesters, injuring them. He was arrested. Turns out he's an Antifa sympathizer and known pedophile. He's currently facing charges for that. There was also another guy, I believe it was also Friday or Saturday night, but this wasn't in Ottawa. This was in Toronto, I believe. Or it could have been in Ottawa. I don't know. Where a community member came out and made, what would you call it? Bigoted comments, racist comments, telling truck drivers with accents to go back to their country. Those are the things that they're trying to say are happening with the truck drivers, but they're not. That's the most frustrating thing because the media is not going to report that, even though we know that, and it's because it's all on video. That's the thing is, unlike a BLM, unlike a BLM protest or anything like that, cameras are allowed here because the people aren't hiding anything. During BLM riots and all that stuff, we would see the camera people, you know, the streamers, be physically attacked by the people they're videoing, or they would just turn the phone to the ground and just report the ground, so they made sure they didn't get any of their comrades in trouble. That's not what's happening in Ottawa. They're live. Everybody, I mean, right now there's probably 15 live streams, covering these protests out there. So it struggled. A lot of people seem to be struggling, specifically the lawmakers in Ottawa seem to be struggling with how they could deal with this, because they asked the governor, or they asked the prime minister to send in the military, saying Ottawa Police Department doesn't have enough police to actually curb this, because at some points there's more truckers and protesters there than there are of police that even work. Now, they've been doing a police surge where they're putting 150 officers down there, and the officers are walking around taking photos with everybody. It's very weird, because then the officers at night have to put on a different hat, and they're going and they're stealing all the fuel from the truck drivers. And I say stealing because that's exactly what they're doing. They're going and stealing fuel from the truck drivers, because the prime minister Trudeau said he said he wasn't going to get involved. So the mayor and the police chief decided to make it illegal to provide supplies and fuel to these truckers. Essentially, they want to starve them out and say, okay, we're not going to listen to your mandates. We're not going to listen to what you have to say. We don't care about what you have to say. And the only way we could stop you without, force, which would likely not work against a group of patriots, is simply by cutting off their food supplies, cutting off their fuel supplies, which it's Ontario. It's cold as hell up there all the time. So last night, they actually went out and took all the fuel. They took purple fuel, like someone just said. They took all the diesel. They took all of the containers and surpluses, propane tanks. They took it all from everybody, and basically, and then made it a misdemeanor crime, I believe. A mischief is what they're calling the crime, for anybody that's bringing in fuel. Which is crazy. It's crazy. So instead, I mean, these jurisdictions are the same ones that allowed BLM to go and tear down their streets and attack precincts and all that stuff. Granted, a lot of that was in the United States, but they also did it up north. And yet now, because it's people that are protesting against something that they disagree, that the mainstream media disagrees with, now they're just shutting everything down and saying, hey, listen, you guys want to protest? Fine, we respect your right to protest, but you're not going to want to protest if you have no heat in your trucks or you have no food to eat. And so that's literally right now what the Canadian government is doing. They've also made a noise ordinance, because here's the thing, if you've been following trucker protests for a long time, it's really annoying, but it's kind of cool at the same time. When truckers protest, they hit that air horn. Air horn to everybody allows people to know truckers are there and pissed. When they're in Washington, D.C. in May Day in 2020 for the 18-day protest that they did, air horns were going off all the time. They stopped at night sometimes, and then the air horns would go off again. That's exactly what they did on Ottawa. They would honk the horns, honk the horns, honk the horns. At 10 o'clock at night, they shut off, and then they start doing it the next morning. Now, what's different, and this weekend was a little bit different. It's frustrating. Nexus Michael on YouTube, you're welcome here, but we're screenshotting everything, and if that's really you, if that's really you, make sure you spend some time with your husband tonight, buddy, and you'll find out why tomorrow. Watch, he's probably going to disappear from the chat now. He's like, oh shit, what's Steve know that I don't know? If that's even really him. Anyway. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating to me. This whole thing is frustrating because I care so much about the truckers. You know what I mean? I think it's a good chance for truckers to be heard, especially when they do it on the U.S. side. I think it's going to be a very good chance for truckers to be heard. But then what? What do you do? You know what I mean? At what point? What do you do? And Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought when the mic was in the chat. And he's not commenting now, so he's like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. What's Steve know? What's going to happen to my hubby, Richard Moore? Yeah, you know. Probably shouldn't get indicted on federal charges when you're on parole. I'm just saying, or not parole, probation, sorry. Or not even pretrial release for a perjury charge. Probably shouldn't do that, because you know what typically happens when you do that? They revoke your bail. I know. How do I know stuff before you do? Oh, shit. That's because I'm godlike. Anyway. Sorry. I know. People right now are probably like, what the hell is he talking about? I guess I'll talk about that again later. And just give it, that kind of has to do with my trial and all that stuff. All right, so this is what's happening now. This is the latest update. Today, anybody that was caught honking their horn because they passed an ordinance, an emergency ordinance for 10 days saying you're not allowed to use horns downtown. So all the truckers that are hitting the horns and all that stuff, they're getting arrested, you know, and there was one old man that was severely arrested. And I say severely arrested because that's what he was. He was physically, restrained and arrested for it. And then there was someone else that was attempting to bring fuel in that was forcefully arrested. That video is on the Telegram channel. And it's all sorts of weird stuff, man. Someone said you are not godlike. I know, Paul. It was a joke. Paul, come on, man. Yeah, have you ever seen the game, like the games when you play video games and you like have a really cool trick shot and then they're like, godlike. That's what I meant, okay? Not that I'm God or like God at all. I know we got a lot of religious people that watch that, so I wasn't even saying that. I was making a joke. Get over it. Anywho, that's why I hate the fucking chat. I really, really do. So long story short, we're going to have to wait and see what's going to transpire today if the Ottawa Police Department is going to take any more proactive measures at trying to starve these guys out. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, I sincerely hope they don't, and I sincerely really, really hope that hold on, my shirt underneath is riding up on my neck. I really, really hope that the trucker convoy, the Freedom Convoy to DC, I hope that's good, man. I really do. I hope it's something for the record books. Do you know what I mean? And I really do. I'm still trying to find a place. Here's the thing: I can rent a facility if it's available. There is a facility that has campsites and all that stuff, and I can rent it for relatively cheap. But if we have over 2,000 people that show up, and I don't know if we would, but if we had over 2,000 people that show up, I'm fucked because I wouldn't have all the permits and all that stuff for it. So, I mean, we could cap it at 2,000 people, and I think they have 35 full RV sites and like another 30 with electric and possibly water. I'm not sure. And I'm still debating. Obviously, if I do that, I will post something out. And because I mean we'll crowdsource that song gun. I'll rent the venue and then we'll try to set everything up like that. But yeah, well, interesting. We'll see. Someone said supposedly the organizers are releasing info tomorrow. Yeah, they're releasing something tomorrow. I'm gonna find out. They've promised me that they're going to send me this press release before they send it out to anybody else. And I'll probably have Jeremy with the Disrespect to Trucker on my show either tomorrow night or Monday. And we'll go. Linda said, can the truckers use 150 acres of fields? Yeah, they probably could. I mean, if you have 150 acres. But here's the thing, is that where we're looking, because basically what I want to do is I want to hold a Wake Up America rally in support of the truckers. Ideally, what I wanted is to rent a building, essentially, and just cook food for the truckers and stuff. They pull through, we give them, free coffee, and we give them some food, and they move on. That was the original idea. And then I was like, you know what? I'll do a full rally and try to get speakers and all that stuff. And I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm still trying to decide. I got to call the venue tomorrow because I was too busy today and see. And I didn't use the Lord's name in vain. So you guys got to stop. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else, but stop. Stop. You're killing the chat. Someone said, I got a feeling the DC won't let them in. Yeah, well, that's why they're not going into DC because you can't. You can't go into D.C. with a trailer anyway, so they would all have to drop their trailers. If someone has acres next to, within, an hour or two of D.C. or 495, then yeah, that would be something. Definitely give me a contact, reach out to me, and we'll figure it out. Anywho, let's go on to the next one. For anyone that doesn't know already, just so I'm going to keep saying it throughout the show because more people are joining. We are raising money today for a yeeter. Okay, yeeter is in crisis. It's got a lot of stuff happening to him, and I want to help him. It's something I never do. We never raise money for one of our own. It's always for police or charities or something like that. But everything I make today, whether it's super chats, I prefer you just go to citizenstringer.com/support and use that. Should work on your mobile phone now. But we'll be going there. Someone said 10-4 on DC shows a trailer there this past year. Yeah, you're not supposed to have trailers in DC. I mean, that's the truth, especially if you're there overnight. So your trailers can do it if you're delivering in, but usually you got to bobtail in. That's why all the trucks that were at the May Day rally, they were all bobtail. They all dropped their trailers and bobtailed in. So some said now you'll be an event organizer. No, it's a separate rally. I'm not going to be an event organizer with this. I'm not a trucker anymore. So I wouldn't, and I wouldn't want to steal anything from it. It would more be a support thing. Anywho, all right, so let's go to the next one. This thing is it's kind of crazy, man. This next story, and I guess I'll try to wing it rather than just reading something. But actually, we wrote an article. I could do that one. Where is it? Oh, this is it. April has just written an article. I don't even know if she's posted it yet. It was still previewing. The Biden administration, it doesn't make any damn sense. The Biden administration is set to commit high crimes and misdemeanors by funding and distributing drug paraphernalia to assist those in the throes of addiction in order to keep them free from harm. Yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's true. The Biden administration is set to dole out $30 million through a program that will provide smoking kits to vulnerable communities. Crack pipes will be given out to drug addicts in underserved communities for the purpose of advancing racial equity. I know if you're reading this, you're thinking you could be insane, right? Well, are we living through the insanity in living color? Because, well, it's true. I don't even know what that means, but whatever. The Washington Free Beacon was the first to report on the details of the Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Included are, and we should have wrote a little bit more, but there's a harm reduction program grant, or a harm reduction program grant program, April. I know this is probably still in edit, but whatever. Included in the grant are funds for, quote, smoking kits/supplies, which is code for crack pipes and associated paraphernalia. Handing out crack pipes will work to ensure racial equity in America through the grant program that will begin in May and will provide funds to nonprofits and local government and help make drug use safer for addicts. A spokesperson for the agency told the Washington Free Beacon that these kits will provide pipes for users to smoke crack cocaine, crystal meth, and any, quote, illicit substance. HHS said the kits aim to reduce the risk of infection when smoking substances with glass pipes, which can lead to infection through cuts and sores. Applicants for the grants are prioritized if they treat a majority of underserved communities, including African American and LGBTQ plus people. And that's because of President Joe Biden's executive order on, quote, advancing racial equity. Things that will also be covered by this grant program include harm reduction vending machines, including stock. So harm reduction vending machines, infectious disease testing kits, HIV, HBV, HCV, etc., FDA-approved overdose reversal medications, as well as higher dosages now approved by the FDA. And, of course, you can't let out the safe sex kits, including PrEP resources and condoms. Suffer from skin infections from shooting up? Wound care is also covered by the grant. Afraid that your crack cocaine will be laced with the deadly fentanyl? Substance test kits, including test strips for fentanyl and other synthetic drugs, will now be covered, so you can test your drugs before you inject them and ruin your life. The documentation also lays out what grant funds can be used for. Interestingly, I can't even talk. Interestingly enough, one of the things listed is that funds can be used to implement a communication campaign focused on reducing the stigma related to harm reduction. So you be ready, if you don't already. As your kid's watching SpongeBob SquarePants, there's going to come up a cartoon where it's like, do you use drugs? Well, don't worry about it. We're popping up these new safe injection locations. Not only that, your taxpayer dollars are paying for you to test your drugs before you inject them. Oh, you don't inject, you smoke crack? Don't worry. Taxpayer dollars will buy you new crack pipes. Fucking so dumb. A communication campaign to reduce the stigma. How about taking a drive through Philadelphia, Seattle, or Portland? What words would we use to reduce the stigma of what you will see? Would you call it harm, or would you call it dirty, ugly, and apparently all the wrong language to use when talking about rampant drug use? But how about results? Will this grant provide the needed intervention for those that are trapped in a cycle of drug use and risky behaviors? Will they stop using drugs, or will the cycle be aided and abetted by the Biden administration? There was another article I sent to April, and she probably included it because, to be honest, it's all so stupid. I can't even deal with this anymore. Oh yeah, this one, the Philadelphia Inquirer today. Oh shit, I gotta make it so I can do this because they have an ad blocker on their site. Bear with me 1 second. The Philadelphia Inquirer is reporting that the Justice Department signals it would be willing to allow safe injection sites for people to use heroin and other drugs. What the hell? I'm not interested. I want to read the article. Where's the damn article? There's no article. What the fuck? Hold on, let me find this article. It's just, that's all it says. That's like the whole article there. What the hell is this? Let's try USA Today. All right. After a year of winning a major court battle against the opening of so-called safe injection sites, safe havens for people to use heroin and other narcotics with protections against fatal overdoses, the Justice Department is signaling it might be open to allowing them. In response to questions from the Associated Press, the Justice Department said it's evaluating such facilities and talking to regulators about appropriate guardrails. The position is a drastic change from the stance in the Trump administration, where prosecutors fought vigorously against a plan to open safe consumption sites in Philadelphia. Because why would you ever want to build a site where people can go and do drugs? Illegal drugs. I don't understand that. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Neither did the Trump administration, but the Biden administration could be that Hunter Biden smokes crack, allegedly, on video. Maybe, do you think that's why this administration has... April, you got to add that to the end of that article. You have to. You got to add the fact that Hunter Biden, the president's son, is caught on video smoking crack all the time. and cheese, right? Didn't he smoke cheese too? Is that why this administration is so lackadaisy? Is that the word? I don't know. About allowing all this stuff to go through? The Justice Department won a lawsuit last year when federal appeals court in Pennsylvania ruled that opening such a facility would violate a 1980s drug law aimed at crack houses, which bans operating a place for illegal drugs. The Supreme Court declined in October to take the case. About 6 weeks later, the first officially authorized safe injection sites opened in New York City in November. The two facilities, which the city calls overdose prevention centers, provide a monitored place for drug users to partake, with staffers and supplies on hand to reverse the overdose. Such sites exist in Canada, Australia, Europe, and have been discussed for years in New York and some other U.S. cities and states. A few unofficial facilities have operated for some time. Advocates have hailed them as a way to curb the scourge of overdose deaths, drawing from the latest available death certificate data. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimated that more than 100,000 Americans died of drug overdoses from May of 2020 to May of 2021. Critics, however, argue that safe injection sites encourage illegal drug use in burdened neighborhoods, which they do. For months after President Joe Biden took office last year, the Justice Department under Merrick Garland, Attorney General Merrick Garland, had refused to take a public stance on safe consumption sites. Officials now say they are weighing their use. Although we cannot comment on pending litigation, the department is evaluating supervised consumption sites, including the discussions with state and local regulators about appropriate guardrails for such sites as part of an overall approach to harm reduction and public safety. The New York City sites so far have intervened in more than 125 overdoses among more than 640 users, many of whom have made multiple visits to partake in the illicit drugs. Fucking idiots. According to On Point New York City, an organization running them. Terrorists! You're literally promoting people to kill themselves and harm themselves. People have to wear masks because of the flu, and yet our government allows people to go in and shoot up heroin. Does anybody not understand how batshit crazy our country is? Does anyone not understand how batshit crazy civilization is? Think about that for a second. They are forcing children to wear masks to school against governor's orders, against common medical, whatever. They're forcing children to do it. We have vaccination mandates in place where you can't get a fucking job if you're unvaccinated, but you can go to a building in New York City and shoot dope and have no fear that you're going to die, because if you do, oh my God, dude, this is so fucking dumb. This is so dumb. I think I just hit that. Think about that correlation. Think about that. When you really sit there and think about it, wow, we are such a flawed group, dude. Think about that. Our government is giving crack pipes to people, and we can't even get COVID tests made in the United States. Our government is giving $30 million worth of grants so people can get safe injection sites and they could test their dope, but you can't even get a fucking COVID test to go to work. Fuck, man. This is so stupid. Like, think about, like, does that not make sense to anybody? This doesn't make sense. The way, oh my God, I wish I was in the fucking White House. I wish, and not as president, I mean just as a journalist to do an actual job. I would love to hear Jen Psaki. If you ask that question, Jen Psaki, can you explain to me, because there's reporting now the Justice Department is considering allowing safe injection sites to go where people can go and shoot illegal drugs that are, what, a felony? Like, if you have crystal meth, isn't that a felony to possess crystal meth? Why, like the Mayor Eric Adams, who believes that all white people are crackers, well, that's a story for another day. Mayor Eric Adams, he apologized. We can't talk about it anymore because he's a Democrat. It's not, it doesn't matter if he apologized. It's all done. It doesn't count. But Eric Adams should set up police officers to arrest everybody that goes in there. Do you know why? Because they all have possession of Schedule 1 narcotics. Does this not make sense to you? Like, this is fucking nuts. It's nuts. Oh my gosh, dude. This is so crazy. And they force, holy shit. Like, when you really think about that, okay? Think about it like this. Think about this. They're allowing people to have safe They're giving crack pipes. They're giving grants to people to give clean crack pipes to people, and yet they're forcing children to wear masks. They just approved vaccines, or it gave an emergency use authorization for 6-month-old. 6-month-old people. We are fucking nuts. In this country, we are nuts. We are completely batshit crazy. And it's, oh my gosh. Someone said voting like we could do last time. I don't even know. I want to go live in the woods. You know why? I just did my taxes. I owe fucking so much money. I don't want to pay my taxes. I don't want my taxes going to crack pipes. Like, this is insane, dude. This is insane. Like, seriously, think about that. If your kid lives in, it doesn't even matter if your kid lives in a red or blue state, there's a good chance that in their jurisdiction, they have to wear a mask every day to go to school. That's a government mandate, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, I can't even, I can't. There's no rationalizing this. There is no rationalizing. You can't, oh my God, someone get a hold of Peter Ducey? I just want one journalist tomorrow to ask Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki, The Justice Department is thinking about allowing safe injection sites to be opened all across America. Why is it acceptable for drug addicts to possess a Schedule I narcotic, walk into a building through city streets, do dope, but it's not acceptable for a person to make that choice? But it's not acceptable for a person to choose whether or not they wear a mask or whether or not they get vaccinated? How does that make sense, dude? How does that make sense? I literally just hit that like in my head. Like as I was saying this, and I read this and I kind of planned on what I was going to talk about. This is so nuts. And with what's happening in Ottawa, what do you say? And I posted this out to Twitter. When you ban the freedom of speech, when you ban a peaceful protest and you starve them out, what do you do next? What do you expect those people that have gripes to do? And don't write it in the chat, guys. But what do you expect? And that's what I was saying on Twitter earlier today, because I just realized maybe this is the goal. Maybe all the conspiracy shit that people talk about all the time, maybe that truly is the goal. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. This attack on Joe Rogan, everybody's saying like this is a precursor to what's to come. Because if they, and there's so many connections to all these donors and all this stuff with this company, who is it? Patriot Takes, and then they're connected to media's Midas Touch or some shit like that, which is a super PAC that funds stupid ass videos. They're all left wing. This whole thing. They're the ones who have gone after Joe Rogan. This is all by design to stifle the freedom of speech for everybody. This is to force people to comply. Oh God. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they, just like someone said, maybe they want people to pop off. Maybe they want people to do something drastic. I'll never do it, but maybe that's what they're striving for. Maybe that's what they need to like totally lock everything down. I mean, what is the explanation? Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously, what is the explanation for some of this stuff? It can't be for the betterment of society. It can't be for the betterment of the people or to help our country succeed. It certainly can't. Do you know what I mean? It can't. Because nothing that they're doing is helpful to Americans. Nothing they're doing is helpful to Americans at all. At all. But it's irrelevant because they're doing it anyway. The people that put on the hit, look, I'll show you. Look. This is going to get screwy here. Look, the people that put on the Joe Rogan thing right here, they issued a press release. Patriot Takes. They republished and brought to the national spotlights dozens of recorded incidents where Joe Rogan used the N-word, referred to black people as Planet of the Apes, and applauded Nazi salute, among other blah, blah, blah. And it said it's just the tip of the iceberg. They're not going to stop. But then you look at who Patriot Takes is, right? You want to look who Patriot Takes is. And then it says partnered with Media's Touch. You go over to Media's Touch. You go to their website right here. Look at this. They have all sorts of shit probably made in China, too, with all their clothes and all that stuff. But they're a super PAC. They're a super PAC, and it's three brothers inspired by COVID, and their goal, created by quarantine and three brothers. They're a pro-democracy, next-generation super PAC founded by three siblings and lifelong Democrats with the primary goals of protecting the American democracy, defeating Trumpism, and holding Republicans accountable. Now, if you want to go donate to them, do you see? Oh, you can't see because my overlay. Oh, shit, I can't take it off. This is Act Blue. Act Blue, it says it right there. Act Blue. They don't even hide it. They don't even hide the fact that they're just making this shit up. Oh, hold on, you're going to get all tripped out on that video for a second. I apologize. Because I had the chat up for a second. But they don't even hide it. They really don't. They don't even hide the fact that they're actively just going out and trying to shut somebody down. You know? It's very weird, man. It's very weird. It's very weird. And they say there's more to come. They tried to get Joe Rogan first with all the vaccinated talk, right? And all the speakers that he had. I don't listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, but anytime I've ever listened to it, I know he's a Bernie supporter. I know that our politics don't align. But you know what? He's an incredible interviewer. There's a reason I don't interview people, because I fucking don't like people. I don't want to interview people. I can't, if it's an opposing view, I can't tolerate it. It's something I got to work on if I really want to be successful in this. But this shit it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like every single day, there's something new with this, and what are we? A year and 2 or 3 weeks into this presidency, and look at just how bad our country has become and what kind of wokeism are coming on. And with the election that's coming up in November, you have so many people. You got Trump endorsed candidates bowing out now, and you got everybody else. And for what? Because I don't know, man. I don't know. It appears that right now they're not going to cancel unless they start doing protests outside Spotify. Like, didn't they try that with Netflix? They did protests outside of Netflix, right? Unless they start doing that with Spotify, I think Joe Rogan's fine. And then Rumble comes out today and says, we got $100 million. They offered Joe Rogan $100 million contract without saying that. And then Odyssey offers $100 gazillion. I thought about publishing a letter from Citizen Stringer and say, why don't you come over here? Because then I'll make $100 million. It's so stupid. So stupid. And they're just trying to cancel someone. Why? Because of the difference in views. You got the Young Turks. The Young Turks are on Fios. They're on YouTube TV, Google. All these companies are prey to social justice. The Young Turks used in a clip the same amount, same length, 45 seconds, as Joe Biden's or as Joe Rogan's. They use the N-word just as many times. They're on. Why are they on? Why are they untouchable? Because they're Democrats. They're left-leaning progressives. They're not even Democrats. I don't even know what the hell they are. They're attacking Democrats now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Rumble is the one Dan Bongino invested in. But see, and here's the thing. Everybody's just out. They're up. They're all being capitalist. Like this whole, First Amendment freedom of speech shit, it's all a myth. It really is. Because, and here's the truth. Because there's so many things I want to say on these platforms with social media, and I can't do it anymore. I can't say certain things. I have to watch what I say. Like, and it's frustrating because I have to go out to social media, or I had to, to go out on social media in order to be successful. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's frustrating. It's a hypocrisy that's frustrating. That's what Bedford just said, which is 100% right. As a reminder for everybody, I'm sweating my ass off. I got all worked up over that. I literally made the connection to the government providing crack pipes to kids having to be forced to wear masks and how it just doesn't make any sense live on the air. And you saw my brain go, poof. You literally saw that. It's crazy. But as April just tweeted out or Facebooked out, we have a yeeter in need. If you would like to help, I'm donating everything from tonight's show, whether it's super chats, as long as the super chats don't get crazy, because I have to wait 45 days in order to get that from YouTube. Facebook stars, same thing. So I'd prefer you just go to citizenstringer.com/support. Or if you prefer to do Venmo or Zelle or any of that stuff, Cash App, you can go to f-antifa.live. If someone wants to type that in each of the chats, for me real quick, that would be helpful. And then you could do Cash App, Venmo. We've already received a bunch of them. I'll give you the total so far with Cash App and Venmo because I could do that from my phone because I know we've had some. And I don't do it much. We have, I thought Cash App was more. It's $20. I thought it was more than that. I heard some. And then we've got $120 on, $120 on Venmo. So we're at 140 plus I saw $50 on all that stuff. So, and no matter what, I'm going to contribute anyway. And it's not GoFundMe, this is going direct to the person. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy stuff. It really is. It really is. This whole thing is fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts. The way our country's going and everything, it's nuts. Since your head exploded, your hat fits now. Yeah. Someone said, I can't believe what GoFundMe did. Of course you can. Of course you can. Beef and Chicken said, who are we supporting? It's a Yeeter, a member of our Yeet family. I'm trying. They don't want me talking about anything. So, this is just, we have to. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm doing. And if you can't, don't worry about it. So, but that's what I'm doing. Someone said, I'm glad GoFundMe finally screwed up. I've been against them for a long time. Yeah, they are. I mean, GoFundMe, when they seized the money, they did it at the pressure of the mayor's office and of the parliament and of U.S. leftists. They literally said it. The Ottawa police tweeted out and applauded GoFundMe for the decision. They held a city meeting or something where the chief of police literally thanked the mayor's office because they worked so hard with GoFundMe to shut it down. And now they said they're keeping track. This is what they said during that thing. They're keeping track of anyone who's providing support. They're keeping track. Well, here's something for you guys to keep track of. I support them. I support those truckers up there, and I'll support the truckers doing here. I support anybody who's standing up for their constitutional right to protest against things that they view as unlawful, things that are unlawful. It's just so crazy. Someone said the Trudeau administration is coming after Americans that donated. Yeah, I mean, that's what they said. There's nothing. It's an American company. You want to talk about influence, other countries influencing American companies. The Canadian government pressured an American company to stop the funding. This is such a big story. And I know that's the reason why the attorneys generals in New York and Florida and several other states are being like, we need to investigate this. You know what I mean? Did Steve just say Dune here? I don't know. Did I? Dune? What's Dune? I don't get it. I don't know, man. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. The whole thing is just mind-bogglingly stupid. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's just mind-bogglingly dumb. Straight up, you should be locked in a mental hospital for some of the shit that's happening here. I just don't get it, dude. Justin, I got your email. Sorry, I was just reading that live. I wasn't reading it, but I saw that. If your orders haven't shipped, God, I just got an email. Someone said that you placed orders and now you need the addresses shipped. I will check, but I already shipped half of this shit. So, you'll have to wait. If it's already shipped, it's already shipped. And if I could catch it, but here's the thing: you're responsible for putting the correct address, and I know you know that. But if I did ship it, it's on you. It's not on me. Anywho, I'm going to be trying something new with the videos tomorrow and possibly Wednesday. I'm not even going to tell you. But I'm going to be trying something new. I hope you like it. And I think it should be better. All right? I think it should be better. And look at that. My podcast has had 20,000 downloads last week. How? I only uploaded 3 podcasts. Come on, Spotify. Where's Rumble offering me $100 million for 20,000 downloads on this show? You know what I mean? Ay. Hold on, I'm checking one other thing to see. Because maybe we just didn't rally. I thought, we rallied here. All right, so it was 120, 140. Let me do this one. 150. Fuck, man. I already did that one. 200. 210 plus all the YouTubes. I think YouTube is probably about 200. So you raise like $400, something like that. So that's there. Yeah, it's tight. People are tight, and I get it, but it is what it is. I'm gonna send him money anyway. So that's what I already decided. Holy crap! I am like exhausted now. I just literally my brain blew up. I'm not joking. My brain blew up during this conversation, man. I like with the whole crack pipe thing to mass kids. I just think I hit that point of like, I don't know what do you do? Like, what do we do now as a people? Do you know what I mean? What do we do as a people? Someone said maybe people aren't tight, just can't afford extras. Sorry. Don't you know what tight means? It means pockets are tight. People don't have the money, the extra money. That's what tight means. Fuck. Or it means like super cool, like, yo, Steve's tight. Yeah. Steve, you may want to make a Rumble account for a Plan B. Fuck that. I have my own live streaming platform. You'll see the plan. You'll see. You'll all see it. Someone said this is live. Yeah, it is. That's why I'm reading the chat live. All right. Oh, the last thing I was going to talk about. So there's no update with my case right now. But the reason why Nexus Mike, if that's really him, disappeared from the chat is because he's probably trying to like have a final meal with his husband or something like that. So I'm being sued by a company called Nexus, and they're doing it through proxies. So a guy named Mike Donovan, who's the CEO of Nexus Services. And if you're curious about the articles, just go to citizenstringer.com in the search box, type in Nexus, and you'll find 6 or 7 articles we wrote about them. They're a company that you guys may remember me talking about it, that they essentially found a legal way to prey on illegal immigrants that are crossing the country seeking asylum, where they post an immigration bond for high-risk people, put in ankle monitors. They don't use ankle monitors anymore. They use cell phones that track everything. And then they essentially hold them at ransom, those payments. They're being investigated by like 5 million attorney generals and all sorts of stuff. It's kind of crazy. They also promoted BLM. Well, it's not even BLM because I don't have a problem with like people that care about Black lives. I don't have a problem with that. Never have. I care about BLM protests where they destroy your community, and I care about the Black Lives Matter organization, which is a terrorist organization, and now, as we learned, a money laundering organization. But this company was different because what they were doing is they were staging BLM protests to go after personal vendettas. And they were using children and kids and teenagers to do that through the guise that they were making a reality TV show. And they had film crews and doing all that stuff with them. So it's a long story. They hated the fact that I would still report on them even though they tried to censor us. And so finally they threw 2 lawsuits. One, I think, for $5 million, one for $2.5 million, for 2 different things. So Nexus Michael, and I don't really think that's him, and if it is, he's really stupid because he said some stupid stuff that we've already screenshotted. But they filed lawsuits, these 2 frivolous lawsuits against us because, one, they think that I just don't, like I was just going to bow down and say, oh, no, you filed these frivolous lawsuits against me. It's not like I'm going to fight back. I fight against everything. I fight the norms. I fight everything in life. That's what I do. I don't let anything bow. I would give up anything, to be able to follow through with what I do and what I stand for. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So they filed these lawsuits. One, they filed it by a guy that was never named in any of our articles because, frankly, we couldn't find any dirt on him. But that guy is now suing me, and ironically, it's the same attorney that's representing the Michael Donovan guy, same attorney that's representing him, even though they say they don't know each other. Really convenient. Oh, and the guy changed the address of the business in question that's suing me that was never mentioned in any of my articles. They changed the address from Nexus Services to some outside address the day later, like we couldn't catch that. It saves it all. And it's very frustrating. But the reason why I was talking about it today is because he popped in the chat. It's so stupid. It's what's really frustrating to me is it's a waste of money. You know what I mean? And there's so much more. I gave so much money last year. I could give more money out to other people, and do like more charity work. But now I have to spend it defending against a frivolous lawsuit. We have a motion for sanctions next month, which should be pretty entertaining. And hopefully we are granted sanctions against the attorney and them, because obviously, this company is never going to pay any sanctions against them unless they're going, threatened with contempt of court. But likely the cases will be thrown out, and then I have a surprise for them after that, because like I said, I fight back. I don't just defend, I fight back. I take the offensive eventually, and I'm going to take the offensive. And unlike some of the other people they go after, I'm never going to stop. And I'm going to keep coming. And that is a promise. You can record it. I'm never going to stop. Anytime, anything happens, I'm going to cover it. Like tomorrow, when we find out that the bond has been revoked, we're going to write about it too, because that's a pretty interesting story. So we'll have to wait and see, but long story short, we have these frivolous lawsuits that we're facing by someone who's attempting to stop. Now, that same person is literally stalking people, and that'll be another story that we're going to have this week. And he's not, well, would you consider this stalking, the guy in the chat? Maybe. Could be. I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. But he's stalking somebody else and doing call campaigns to get the person fired all the time. That's something that just came to my knowledge today. So we'll do that. Well, we'll write something up on that too. It's just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting how people take advantage of people in this country consistently. That's my frustrations. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? But it's stupid. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. So that's, someone said fuck around and find out. Yeah, kind of. I mean, They wanted to mess around and do stupid stuff. We reported on it. Now, here's a funny thing. Is the New York Post wrote about, or not New York Post, New York Times wrote about it. New Yorker wrote about it. Atlantic wrote about it. Washington Post wrote about it. NBC wrote about it. Everybody wrote about it. But the only people they choose to come out is me. Well, that's fine. Someone said, did Mercado ever say anything about his T-shirt? Nah, I have no idea. I don't follow Mercado, really. So, and as a matter of fact, I do not follow Mercado. It's only when you guys send me something and say, hey, Steve, someone's talking about you. Like, I give two shits. I mean, Mercado's a nobody. All these people are nobodies. But Mike Donovan is a nobody. He just thinks he's something. And, you did a disservice to the Donovan name. That's the thing. And you spell your name fake wrong, too. So, it's really sad. Someone said, I know exactly what you're talking about. Good, you should. Anyway, so tomorrow's shows are going to be a little bit different, and you'll see why, especially if you're on social media. You'll see why. It's going to be different. I'm not even talking about it because I don't care. I don't want to hear bitching. But that's what we're doing. Someone said he will after. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, here's the thing. I do things. One, it's good. We made money. We donated money and all that stuff. And someone said, screenshot for Mike Donovan, F you. He's in the chat. If it's really him, it's probably not. It's probably some other scummer that's pretending to be him. But I don't know. It's just frustrating. Someone said, going to do it like max headroom. If not, I'm protesting. I don't know what that means, or if you're even talking to me. That's why I hate this chat. Someone said, Steve, I've been quiet for same reasons. I get it, brother. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And you know what? Part of it's just like someone just said, anti-social media, LOL. Why bust my ass for social media? Because here's the thing. I could produce a much, much better show by taking all day to do the damn show. All day. And putting out a really well produced, monologue, like really, really good show. So I'm going to try something, and then the whole show will be available. But I realize there's a lot of podcasts and shit that do that. Josh just said, I just realized Biden and bidet are one letter off. Makes sense. It really does. It really does. So I'm going to be trying something new tomorrow. Like I said, not telling anybody what it is, and you'll see. And we'll go from there. Maybe tomorrow and the next day. And then we'll go from there. I appreciate. Why do I hate the chat? Because I can't do a full show because I read the chat to react. And plus, I have to read the chat to see if if like my sound's on and shit like that, because I often forget. And yeah, I just hate it. So someone said, where's the chat Steve is talking about? What's the other one? We got another tenner contribution. We got another $5 contribution. Thank you guys. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that tonight. And roses are red, violets are blue. F Joe Biden. All right. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Someone said from the very first days, it has gotten insane. Yeah. Someone said, shut the chat off. Nah, I got a better idea. I think you guys will like it. Some may not, but I think you will. And it's my call. So I'm going to try it. Oh, by the way, tomorrow we're going to be live streaming a whole ton of shit, but it's only on Citizen Stringer. We got a bunch of hearings going on today. Like, if you don't have a Citizen Stringer membership, you're missing out. Because today we broadcast Jen Psaki Circle Jerk press conference, whatever it was. Yeah, I mean, she just lies to the media constantly. And then, what else? Oh, and then Ned Price lying to the Americans. But he got pushback. He got pushback from the media again, so it was actually pretty good. So, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to send a notification out. So if you have a Citizen Stringer membership, go onto your phone, download Citizen Stringer. You don't even need a membership, guys. This is the good part. Go to your phone, download Citizen Stringer, register for an account because you can watch videos for free and shit. You just can't watch the lives. And then you should get push notifications. Now, it's not going to help you if you don't have a subscription to be able to watch the lives, but I'll be live tomorrow throughout the day, and every now and then I'll chime in and just rant about something, especially during Jen Psaki's press conference. But that's the way we're doing it with the live streams during the day, because it actually frees it up. I don't have to watch the streams. They can end and have just dead space on the stream, and it's okay because, well, people understand because we just have dead space if there's no live streams going on anyway. So it makes... I know you probably don't understand that, but whatever. All the people on Citizen Stringer know, and it makes sense. And there's a lot of them. And today we had, how many people we had in there just chilling? I think we had an average of 60 or 70 people in the chat just chilling all day long, even when I had this thing which said, coming up next, and it played for 2 hours. People were just in there talking about recipes and shit. They're doing it right now. Watching Waiting said someone got into Pelosi's purse and returned some balls to the press corps. Yeah. Someone said, yes, Steve, read us. No problems here. Yeah. Someone said, is Steve talking to us alone? Nope. But I'll tell you what, I will for a little bit. Everyone on social media, you guys can go to bed. See you later. Bye.
Listening to Wake Up America with Stephen Oatley. Unapologetically American and unapologetically honest. Join us each night at 8 p.m. for more daily headlines, politics, and social issues, covering the headlines that mainstream media ignores. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review the show. See more on the website at citizenstringer.com. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wake Up America.